I know you're tired, not just physically tired but tired in your soul. You've prayed, you've waited, you've believed, you've held on through long nights and quiet battles that no one else sees, and still, it feels like the breakthrough is just out of reach. You've wondered if maybe the promise passed you by, if maybe you missed your moment. But hear me, deep in your heart, your victory is near. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean God isn't moving. In fact, some of God's greatest works are done in silence. In the quiet soil, hidden roots are growing. In the stillness, He's preparing the way. It's not always loud when God is working. Sometimes the breakthrough begins in whispers, in slow healing, in unnoticed strength rising in your spirit. Think about Joseph, thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold as a slave, wrongfully imprisoned, forgotten in a dungeon. Year after year went by, year after year went by, and nothing made sense. The dreams he once had must have felt like cruel jokes. But God had not forgotten him. God was working behind the scenes, aligning every detail, preparing Joseph not only for freedom, but for purpose, for elevation, for destiny. And when the time was right, in a single day, Joseph was lifted from the prison and placed in the palace. What looked like delay was really divine preparation. And God is doing the same in your life. What feels like a setback is often the soil for your next season. The waiting, the stretching, the pressing, it's not punishment, it's preparation. God has not wasted a single tear you've cried. Not one moment of pain has gone unseen. And when He moves, it will be sudden, and it will be undeniable. Remember David? Just a shepherd boy, forgotten in the fields. He wasn't even invited to the lineup when Samuel came looking for a king. And yet, God saw him. God anointed him. But even after the promise, the path wasn't easy. David faced giants. He fled from enemies. He hid in caves. He had moments of doubt, of fear, of deep loneliness. But God never let him go. Every trial shaped David into the man who could carry the crown. And when the time came, David stepped into his calling. Not because he forced it, but because God was faithful. Maybe today you feel like you're in a cave. Maybe you feel like everyone else has moved ahead while you're stuck in the same place. Maybe you're surrounded by giants that seem too big to defeat. But don't forget who goes before you. The battle isn't yours alone, it belongs to the Lord. And He has never lost a battle. Not once. The Israelites stood at the edge of the Red Sea, with Pharaoh's army closing in behind them. There was no way out, no escape. Fear gripped their hearts, but God didn't bring them that far to leave them. With one command, He parted the sea. He made a way where there was no way. What looked like the end was just the beginning. And that same God, the one who parts seas, who shuts the mouths of lions, who opens prison doors, is still moving mountains today. Victory doesn't always look how we expect it to. Sometimes it comes in waves. Sometimes it's slow and steady. Sometimes it surprises us, but it always comes, because God finishes what He starts. He is not a man that He should lie. If He said He would do it, He will. He cannot break His promises, and He is faithful to complete the good work He began in you. Jesus Himself faced the greatest moment of agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. The Son of God, kneeling in the dirt, overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. He cried out, "Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me." He felt it all, fear, pain, loneliness. But even then He trusted the Father's will. And on the cross, it looked like defeat. It looked like the end, but on the third day, the stone was rolled away. Victory rose from the grave, death was conquered, hope was reborn, and because He lives, victory is not just possible, it is promised. So if you're feeling like you're at the end of yourself, that's not a sign to give up. That's often the place where God shows up strongest. His power is made perfect in your weakness. When you don't have the strength to stand, He becomes your strength. When you don't have the words to pray, He hears your sighs and groans. When you feel like giving up, He leans in closer and holds you tighter. Don't mistake the silence for absence. Don't confuse delay with denial. God hasn't abandoned you. He's positioning you, molding you, protecting you from things you don't even see. You may be tired, but you are not alone. You may be weary, but help is coming. You may be waiting, but heaven is still writing your story. Victory is near. You may not know how, you may not know when, but you can trust who. The God who carried you this far will not leave you now. One who formed you, called you, loved you. He's not finished, not even close. There is a reason you're still here. There is purpose in your pain. There is glory on the other side of this battle. And soon you'll look back and see how every tear watered the seeds of something beautiful. Every heartbreak made room for deeper healing. Every delay prepared the path for something greater than you imagined. Lift your head, your story isn't over. In fact, the most powerful chapters are still to come. The healing you've been praying for, it's coming. The restoration you've been longing for, it's being written. The doors you thought were closed for good, God can open them in an instant. Don't let the enemy lie to you. Don't let discouragement drown out God's voice. You are made for more than this moment. You are more than the struggle. You are more than the waiting. You are chosen. You are equipped. And you are loved beyond comprehension. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are right on time for what God has prepared for you. So breathe deep. Rest in this truth. The same God who brought down Jericho's walls, who sent manna from heaven, who rescued Daniel from the lions, who raised Lazarus from the dead, is walking with you right now. And he is saying to you even now, be still, the victory is mine, and it's coming for you. You don't have to fight alone. You don't have to carry it all. Just keep showing up, keep trusting, keep walking by faith even when you can't see the road ahead. Because right beyond the breaking point, right past the place where you thought you couldn't go any further, that's where the breakthrough happens. That's where the miracle begins. That's where victory shows up, and it's closer than you think. God is not finished, and when he finishes something, it is always complete, always beautiful, always right on time. So hold on, your victory is near. I know it's hard to keep walking when nothing is changing. I see how heavy this season feels, and I know what it costs you just to get out of bed some days, to keep hoping when the evidence seems to contradict every prayer. But I want you to know, I honor your persistence. I treasure your faith, even when it feels fragile. And I want you to hear this clearly. I am not standing on the other side of your battle. I am in it with you. Every step, every breath, every tear. You see, I'm not a distant God watching from the clouds. I came down into the mess of this world. I walked the dusty roads. I cried real tears. I was betrayed. I was misunderstood. I was rejected by those I came to love. I was hung on a cross by the very ones I came to save. So when you tell me you're tired, I understand. When you tell me you're hurting, I felt it. When you whisper, God, where are you? I'm already there, wrapping my presence around you, closer than the breath in your lungs. Let me take you back to a night on a stormy sea. My disciples were terrified, convinced the boat would go under, and there I was, sleeping. It wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I was never afraid. I knew the storm would not win. I knew the waves could not swallow what my word had sent forth. And I say to you now, just as I said then, peace, be still. The storm around you is not stronger than the Savior within you. The chaos you feel is no match for my voice. You may feel like you're drowning, but I still walk on water. Victory is not a distant hope. It's already being written into your story. Every battle has an expiration date. Every wilderness has a promised land on the other side. Even in the darkest nights, my light is still shining. Just because you haven't seen the sunrise doesn't mean morning isn't coming. And when it comes, it will break over your life with beauty, with healing, with answers that make the wait worthwhile. Think of the woman with the issue of blood. 12 years she suffered, 12 years of shame, rejection, disappointment. She'd tried everything. She had nothing left, but she still had one last sliver of faith. She reached through the crowd, not even for my face, just for the edge of my robe. And that one touch, one desperate act of faith changed everything. That's what I do. I respond to faith, even when it's faint, even when it's trembling, even when you're not sure if it's enough. Reach out, I'm still the healer. Or look at Hannah. Barren for years. Her cries were so deep, so raw, that others thought she was losing her mind. But I heard her, I saw her tears. And in time I opened her womb and gave her Samuel, a prophet who would shape nations. Her pain had a purpose. Her waiting birthed something greater than she ever imagined. And the same is true for you. The prayers you think are forgotten have been stored in my hands, and I am working all things together, quietly, powerfully, in perfect love.